Hey sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for the love, the support you all showering me here with. I am super grateful, and you all are super sweet. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a man who actually came out to say that there are so many femcels on this app, and a lot of people actually came out to say so many things. And now, the one thing that I understood by the stitches is that, like, different opinions really varies. Like, people have their own opinion on this, and so we are like saying that you men really need to hold themselves accountable for some certain things and all that. And then I want to ask this question: why is it that most men are not comfortable when a woman said that I want to be on my own, I can do this on my own and all that? I mean, why are they kind of intimidated? Because I see some of them saying that most women say that they do not need a man in my life. Why are we supposed to protect them and all that? And then there is this one of the stitches that a black woman said that most black men really need to hold themselves accountable for some certain things that is happening, and that men are very afraid of other men, that they will put women on trial before even holding men accountable for the behaviors of that terrorizes women socially and all that. So she was like, men have not even addressed all this. I mean, men have not even corrected one another. I mean, trying to put themselves in the right places and all that, but they are looking for a way to put women, some police women, more like for how they react to trauma and all that, or how they've been treated and the rest of it. I mean, she already went further to like explain why she said that, and she was like, if men are thinking like this or behaving like this, that it's kind of goofy and unacceptable and all that. I'm just gonna roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it, and I actually want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I think it's really very interesting, and let's just dive into it. So here we go.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd amount of femcels on this app. And the thing is, at least we have the language and the ability to recognize incels, and a lot of incels are self-identifying. So like we can call them out. But the problem with femcels is they hide behind the language of social justice in order to be femcels. And you can tell from their language because they're always using this black pill doomer rhetoric. Men are always going to disappoint you. Men are always going to let you down. So just find one that's going to let you down the least. And here's the problem with this. The problem is if you do have a commitment to social justice, then you need to have a commitment to the idea of restorative justice. They don't have that commitment, which is why they're always speaking negativity into your experience. They want to plant the seeds of doubt in your mind. So when you have a relationship with a man and you do get disappointed or you do have a disagreement, it comes down to this idea that men let you down. Men ontologically are evil. And this is an issue. This is an issue because you can't build community. You can't build community like this. And you also can't be upset that a lot of young men are getting radicalized to the alt-right when you aren't making space for them. And I say that to say there's a decent amount of men that call out incels. Nobody is calling out these femcels. Nobody calls out femcels because you're busy validating their feelings. You're busy telling them that their experience is valid. Y'all want in on the black pill hate session. And the problem is, that's not how restorative justice will work. That's not how any of this will work. There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd.
Creating a term, femcel, to equate misandrists to misogynists is flawed because the reasons for women-hating men are very different for why men hate women. Women-hating men in general is in spite of a system that has disenfranchised them, a social culture. Men hating women is not out of spite, it's because they don't recognize their autonomy. Incels is a term for people that have isolated themselves and have pushed that internalized hate onto women because they don't see that autonomy as something that's independent to the woman. It's something that they can control. You can draw parallels between how women hate men to how racial minorities hate white people. Because white people hating minorities comes from a position of privilege and supremacy. Racial minorities hating white people comes from a position of spite from a system that oppresses them. Understanding this video when he was saying it's hard to create unity when there's still division between people, but you're completely disregarding the experiences of women when you call them femcels and insinuate that they're just hateful people. Because again, the reasoning for the hate is very different from why incels hate women.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd amount.
Progressivism and advocacy has an inherent problem or difficulty with self-policing. There are a lot of people that get to hide within leftist spaces and within leftist arguments, but aren't really leftist at all. What is fundamental to feminism is being against bioessentialism. Feminists believe that people are the way they are because of social conditioning and not simply just because of their biological gender or anything like that. But there are a lot of women who will walk into feminist spaces and say things like, oh yes, all men are like this or all men are like that, and there's no fixing and or changing them, and there are no good men. You can use whatever language you want to kind of spin that to try and make it make sense, but ultimately it is still incorrect. But it is hard to self-police, especially when you're talking about advocacy and you're trying to address the main problems. It is going to be annoying or frustrating to also want to self-police people from saying the more extreme things. The same type of thing happens with racism, right? If you are fighting white supremacy, you are fundamentally against the idea of race and racism, but there are a lot of people within those spaces that are okay simply turning their racism towards white people, and that is antithetical to leftist and progressive ideals. But it is absolutely necessary to progressive movements to make sure that your point is being expressed in the most accurate way possible. But whether that's going to happen, I don't know. Just look at the comment section of that video. Like, good luck.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely.
This is a good video. But what this person forgets to mention also is a big role of why we don't differentiate incels and females properly and appropriate the large content creators, whether it be male or female, to their incel and femcel counterparts is because is like how we perceive the incel. The incel exists as a byproduct of wanting to have sex with women, but fucking hating women. Like, he hates women. Like, you can be an incel, you can be normal looking, but you can just still be an incel because you're a loser and you just hate girls. Like, you don't like girls, you just want to have sex with them. And it's the same thing on the female side. Like, they're girls. They don't like men. Like, they're not attracted to men. They just want to have sex with them as an accessory. Just like women can treat men as an accessory, or on this side, men can treat women as an accessory. This is the opposite side of the femcel. The part to me that's most interesting by far is the actual creators sort of at the top of this hierarchy, that being like Andrew Tate, or like the female equivalent, which is like very attractive woman. I mean, there's plenty of them, but I don't even know about all the male ones. I've seen plenty of clips of them. I don't know their names. But it's like these two people, it's imagine these two people in this narcissistic relationship, right? Where they both interact with each other purely, or are partners, or interact romantically purely on the basis of feeding into the accessory of one another. 30-something, 40-something rich dude gets with this young girl, or younger girl, who he perceives as just like, she's just a thing. He's going to give her everything in the world that she can't touch, and she's going to love him for it. She's going to treat him like God, and he's going to treat her like a pet, like an animal, like a daughter even. But she doesn't care about how he feels or how he's treating her. She cares about how other women will feel about what she gets in return and what she can display. The same way that this male wants to show off what he can get with what he has, with his cars, his money, his wealth, blah, 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 blah. Now, she probably doesn't even care about that stuff. She just cares about the things that she gets and what she gets to show off, right? And these two people are in this narcissistic, like, parasitic relationship up here. And they take from one another. They don't really care about one another, but they show it off. Like Andrew Tate showing off all these girls. He doesn't even fuck about. It's the same thing. She's showing off this guy that he doesn't fucking care about her. But this guy, he's going to tell these younger guys on the internet, he's going to be like, yeah, I got this, and this is how you got to treat them, and you can't care about this, you can't care about that. Just, I don't know, just dumb bullshit. She is going to say the equivalent stupid shit about how this is how everyone has to do it. Get you a man who does this, or like, will get you, I don't know, get you a rich guy. And it's so easy for incels on this side and femcels on this side to just warp that to whatever image that they want of hating men or hating women. But the primary point here, the actual important part, is that these internet subcultures of incels and femcels are influenced by narcissists who don't actually give a fuck about bettering standards for men or bettering standards for women. This girl who shows off all this, flaunts all this stuff that she gets from this guy, she doesn't give a fuck about women. She doesn't give a fuck about women's rights. She doesn't fucking care about you as a girl. She doesn't care. Just like this guy, Andrew Tate, he doesn't give a fuck about you as some young guy who's a broke bum, comes from... He doesn't fucking care about you. He'll show his shit off to you. He doesn't give a fuck about you. She doesn't give a fuck about you because you're another girl. She does, however, give a fuck about you being idolizing her as a girl who gets what she wants. I think that's the primary issue. Is that at the end of the day, there's always going to be narcissists on the internet who will spew things that sad people will eat up all day.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd.
Now I've heard everything. I've heard it all. Men are so afraid of other men that they will put women on trial before even holding men accountable for the behavior that terrorizes us socially. You haven't addressed the behavior of men yet. Y'all haven't even corrected each other yet, and yet you're ready. You think you're ready to try to check women for our behavior. You want to tone police women for how we react to trauma and how we react to being treated the way that we've been treating. That's goofy. That's goofy as hell. One thing men never lack, they may lack money, they may lack common sense, they may lack common decency, they will never lack audacity. It'll never happen. Femcels. I can't even begin. And you know what? I don't want to. I don't even want to. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, act like a clown. I'm attending the circus. There's nothing you can say to people like that. There's no amount of reason that you can instill into these people. You just have to watch. At some point, you just have to watch. Until men get their tail from between their legs and stop fearing other men, and until men are ready to accept the fact that they're sexually attracted to women and emotionally attracted to men, therefore are constantly seeking their validation, they will never check themselves and they will never know peace. Because if it's one thing about women, and especially black women, we gonna do us. We gonna do us, with or without you. It doesn't matter. Act right or continue to be alone. We love it here. We love it here. Single, stress-free, about my business. Love that for me. Get y'all shit together. Ugh. Yuck.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd.
The first incel forum was created by a woman, Alana, and the very early incels were pretty peaceful and just complaining about their loneliness. When Alana decided to stop running the forum, she handed over to one of her male friends, and from there onwards, the forum became very male-dominated, and it also the members started leaking into other forums as well. Again, predominantly male. And it quickly became a very violent place, and very dangerous ideas started brewing. Now, seeing that ideology, most women didn't want to stay near it. However, there was a small few that did feel like they wanted to be in there, but obviously, even though they resonated with that terrible ideology, they were still themselves threatened. So they created their own subreddit called femcel. Now, the whole ideology behind the femcel forums was very anti-feminist, anti-women, completely red-pilled. So why are these dudes seeing feminists on this app and going like femcels? It doesn't even fucking make sense.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd.
Okay, well first, let's start by defining femcel. So I've called myself a femcel for a couple of years now, and I've yet to actually ever see like a good definition. This is the best one I've found as of late, because I'm actually trying to create a zine to define femcelism, if you will, because of videos like this. So, let's begin. The term femcel refers to a community of women who have chosen to opt out of sexual and romantic relationships. Similar to how incels or male involuntary celibates blame feminists for their inability to secure a satisfying sex life, femcels view misogyny and unjust beauty norms as a factor that inhibits their true sexual and romantic desires. More specifically, femcels believe that they are only desirable to men sexually, not romantically, and therefore have created internet personas surrounding their inability to be loved. So already you can see, starting off, there's a huge difference between femcels and incels, right? So incels are blaming an equality movement, whereas femcels are blaming the failure of that equality movement, or to more simply put it, they're blaming inequality for their lack of security in a relationship. And that's the thing, people try to equate femcels and incels to be the same thing just because they share the same name. They're not the same thing. And that's what's funny, is incel actually, it just means involuntarily celibate. It's not actually a gendered term. So I'm not really sure how about femcel or the term femcel was created. I will find out someday. I will. It was probably on TikTok, honestly. But I'll find out. This will be my thesis project. I found this creator's video to be really, really interesting. I found it really interesting how centered around men it was. How a women's movement was somehow now entirely about men and men's needs. I think men's needs are very important. I value them. I think they're important. Blah, 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 blah. I care, okay? I genuinely do care. I'm being serious. I care. But the fact that women's reactions to being historically oppressed for so long is now just being turned into this, like, shame, I know your name type of thing, like, I don't understand how you can just look at women expressing their discomfort with being in the same spaces as the people that have given them a lot of trauma and being like, how could you do that? You're standing in the way of justice. You're not committed to social justice. You don't even know what restorative justice is. You're not a real social justice warrior. Like, there are better ways to go about it than that. As someone that has a huge amount of male-related trauma, I understand what pushes women to be that extreme. And so I know how to pull them out of it. And it's not by just shaming them and telling them that they're doing the wrong thing. Has that ever worked for any group ever? No, it hasn't, actually. I don't think it ever will. Instead, maybe men need to work on, hear me out, not making women feel that way. Oh, I know, this is like a real, like, super leftist, crazy, wacko take. Like, maybe men should try to make women feel safe so women don't feel the need to go so far away from them and create a community completely centered around their traumas relating to men and the negative consequences that they have to endure every single day because of men. And that's what's funny. I don't even like men. So this entire conversation about, like, just being super centered around men, and I mean, I don't like men in the way I don't romantically connect with men. I don't. I am a sapphic. I'm a big old gay. So yeah, they're not for me personally. Just an extreme femcel like that, I guess. But I don't think men are evil. I think men are deserving of kindness, compassion, and forgiveness just like anybody else, including the ones that have wronged me. And I have a really extreme cases in my life where I have been able to forgive the men that caused me incredible trauma. I don't know why I said incredible, like it's like this big accomplishment. But yeah, I've been able to forgive my abusers. I'm not going to push anybody else to do that because it's their own personal journey. What I will do, I will encourage them to not hate them because that's simply too much of their energy that they're putting into someone and something that doesn't deserve it. Right? I don't know if that makes sense. I cannot believe, this is a direct quote from the video. Also, you can't be upset that a lot of young men are getting radicalized to the alt-right when you aren't making a space for them. That's crazy. So what was the case of the young men, like how were the young men getting radicalized to the alt-right before femcels? Or did this just start happening with femcels? It's all your fault, femcels. Like, you're the reason. Like, do you not hear how bizarre that sounds? Like, you can't be mad. It's your fault. Do I think like a small percentage of men being radicalized to the alt-right are doing that because of femcels? Yeah. But also, how many of them actually care about what women think and actually have ever listened to a woman's opinion? Very few. So why are we giving them that much credit to be influenced by women? Like, they don't listen to women. That's why they're going to the alt-right, bro. Overall, I did like that creator's video. I think they had some really good points about restorative justice and commitment to that and how that involves forgiveness. But I also I don't think it's anybody's place to force other people to forgive or tell them what they do and don't need to forgive. I'm never going to tell someone that they need to forgive their abuser or begin to trust an entire group of people that has continually harmed them. I'll encourage them to. I'll ask them what I can do to support them throughout that process, but it's not my place to tell them what to do. I don't think anyone should be a misandrist. Just gonna put that out there. I don't think anyone should hate an entire demographic of any people. I mean, maybe white supremacists. I think that's a group to hate entirely. I think that one's okay. But other than that, I don't think it's okay to just entirely hate a group. I don't think anyone should do that. I think it's a waste of energy. And I think you're also missing out a lot on that. So if you're a femcel and you're a misandrist, work on it, okay? Because you're missing out on, there are some good men out there. I know it sounds so crazy, but there are. I have quite a few in my life. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you guys are gonna comment and like tell me I'm stupid, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Then if you still want to comment something mean, don't.
There is a crazy amount of femcels on this app. Absolutely absurd.
I love when men use the term femcel because incel is not a gendered term, but they assume that the default is men, even though the term was coined by a woman to describe herself.
This is all I got from the series, and yeah, everybody got different opinion on this, and that is absolutely beautiful. I totally enjoy watching this because I also learned a lot from this and all that. And then I have something to ask. Why is it that some men actually do not like to hear things like when women are kind of trying to be on their own or trying to do things for themselves and all that, and like when they said, I don't think I need man at this point in time, probably because of experiences. And same thing with men. Sometimes they are like, I don't need any woman around, like I just want to do things for myself and all that. But most especially women, when women say that I don't think I need a man in my life, I need to build me, I need to do me, I need to concentrate on me and all that, I mean, there is nothing I cannot do. Most men tend to be intimidated, right? Because I mean, they are always like, women nowadays, or especially when they say black women nowadays, are always like, we can do it by ourselves. I mean, we can figure it out about ourselves. That's why sometimes most, okay, so during the break lady season, some of them were like, you people do not need men and all that. So how do you expect a man to come fight for you and the rest of it? So I mean, everybody with their own opinion on that. But then I want to ask, why is it that men are kind of they are not comfortable when a woman says that I just want to be on my own, I do not want a man in my life and all that? Not wanting a man in your life at that point might be like you just do not want any stress or do not want any drama. Because I feel like, you know, sometimes this wanting a man in your life or wanting a woman in your life comes with so many drama. And some people are probably, they have seen a lot of dramas in their lives and all that, and they do not want more drama, I mean, attached to it and the rest of it. So I don't know, just let me know what you all think in that. And there were black women that actually said that most men will put women on trial before holding men accountable and all that. And there was a video, for the behavior that terrorizes us socially, right? And then there is a video that I saw where a man was screaming that a man tried protecting a woman. Like, this is just, a man tried protecting a woman and he was pupilled and all that. And he was asking people to donate money or something. So another man actually came out and was like, okay, who was the man? The man was trying to protect a sister, right? And who was the person trying to harm the woman? So the man was like, it's also a man. So most times, most of the things happening is not because that women want to be by themselves and all that. It is because most men or some men have really shown them the reason not to trust them or be with them and all that. I am not saying all men, I'm just trying to give you an example. Please do not hold me in the comment section and start saying that, yeah, it's because the narrative does not fit this thing, because I see a lot of men coming to tell me that in the comment. Please, I do not want to say. So this is me giving you an example. So let me know what you all think in the comment section. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.